Are you an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VI SBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VI SBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VI SBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the VISBDC's second hosting of the U.S. Beneficial Ownership Information Registry process, what every small business needs to know. Allow me to introduce today's lead presenter, VISBDC State Director, John M. Morosco. Before returning to the Virgin Islands as the VISBDC State Director, John had many years working as a certified business advisor in Iowa, Washington State, and the Virgin Islands. In addition to the years with the SBDC, John has been a successful business owner, college professor, and nursing home administrator, and worked in corporate America for more than 35 years. He has spent most of his career working his primary job and teaching at many colleges nationwide. John has extensive experience managing restaurants, hotels, as well as assisted living and nursing facilities. He also assisted with his family-owned restaurant and owned a college consulting business, as well as a janitorial business, which he later sold. John holds a Bachelor of Science in Hotel, Restaurant, and Tourism from Florida International University and a Master of Public Administration in Long-Term Care from the University of New Haven. Here's a friendly reminder to put your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed by John either directly in the chat or later during the question and answer segment. A copy of this presentation will be attached to the post-survey email sent directly after the live event. We encourage you to take a few minutes after this training to fill out the survey that lets us know how we're doing. So without further ado, State Director Morosco, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and glad to have everybody on board here today. As we start going through this, I really do encourage, if you have questions, don't hesitate. We can wait if you want to wait to the end, that's fine. Put them in the chat. Do feel free to come off mute or put the question in the chat, and I'm going to ask Sharika if I don't see it in chat, if you would just kind of interrupt me. I would really appreciate that. So, welcome everybody. This is today we're going to be going over the U.S. Beneficial Ownership Information Registry process. That is a whole lot of words here for us to do. This is a mandate coming from the federal government. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through who has to register their company. I was, in the last session I have a consulting company that I used when I was in Iowa working with the SBDC as a contractor. And even with my little company up there, which is an LLC, I had to register for this process. And as we go through, we'll explain. It should explain itself what it's all about. During this process, I'm going to be showing 3 fairly short videos, but they really explain. These are for some of the experts I really do like. One is from the government who it talks about how the process works. Then there's an accountant who does a really nice job in explaining. And then the last one is another accountant. And they all have different opinions on this process. Let it just be said that this is something that most of us that have a business are going to have to do. So it's the best thing to do is get it done, because as you will hear also, the fines for not doing it are pretty hefty. So let's get started. Please feel free to ask those questions. All right, so as we start out, just explaining a little bit more, what is the U.S. Beneficiary Ownership Information Registry? We're now going to call it BOI for the rest of the session. And so what it refers to is identifying information about individuals who directly or indirectly own or control a company. So, and they're saying, you know, why the companies have to report beneficial ownership information to the U.S. Department of Treasury. In 2021, Congress passed a Corporate Transparency Act, and they did it on a bipartisan level. And what the law creates a new beneficial ownership information reporting requirement as part of the U.S. government's effort to make it harder for bad actors to hide or benefit from, as they put it, illegal gotten gains through shell companies or other opaque ownership structures. So this is the government's way to try and curb any illegal activities going on where people are hiding money. So the reporting process, now you'll hear it said quite a bit, FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and they're the ones that have launched the BOI, and we're going to talk about the e-filing system. There is a PDF and a manual system that you can follow, but as in the last video, you'll hear Hector Garcia calls that system a hot mess. The e-filing, it is really pretty easy. And by the time we get done here today, I'm really hoping that you'll have a good idea on just how to get in, do your application, and be done with it. Because it a lot of times, for most of us, it's going to have to be done. And we'll go through this, the companies that do and don't have to do this. So this was created, so the reporting company created or registered to do business before January 1st, 2024. So if you've been in business before January of this year, and it doesn't matter how far back you go, you have until January 1st, 2025 to get this filing done and have it all set to go. I encourage, this is my opinion, I really encourage everybody to please, you know, as we get done, while this is fresh, go through and do the application. If you would like, you can always come to one of the SBDC offices. We have an office on St. Croix, we have one here in St. Thomas, and we have someone that can help you in St. John. And when I say that, we're not going to fill it out for you. Okay, but if you came over here, we set you up, whether you brought your laptop or we have one here. One of the things that we can do is help coach you on how to fill this out. And so we're happy to do that. So just know that we're there to help guide you. So January 1st, 2024, if your business is, you know, basically from 2023 earlier, you can finish this whole process by January 1st. Please get it done earlier. So a reporting company that was created in 2024, this year, they have 90 calendar days after receiving actual or public notice of the creation or registration is in effect. So 90 days to get this application done. So right now, if somebody opened a business in February of this year, we're past that 90 days. I recommend you, highly recommend quickly getting that done. The fines are going to be pretty stiff, but I think that my personal opinion again is I'm hoping that there's a grace period and they'll just let everybody get registered. But if in 2024, if you have started a company, okay, you need to get this done within that time frame. So if I opened up a company right now in July, let's say July 10th, I got the license from the territory for my business license, then I would have from that date, I have 90 days. So just pay attention to that. And then any company that is started creating their company after January 1st of 2025. So January 1st, 2025, any new company will have to register their company within 30 days of receiving the actual notice, and creation or registration is in effect. And again, I've had so many clients that I've worked with in the past, and I do that say, okay, I was notified that my business was in effect in 2018, but I haven't done anything with it. It's just sitting there, and now I'm ready to go. Well, this is just, don't get caught into that little trap, as I call it, that, within the time frame, as soon as you receive notice that you have the business license, make sure that you follow through with this. Because as I said, a lot of clients that I've worked with in the past, they get their license and then they just not ready to move for a year or so, or 6 months, or it could be a month. Just make sure that you don't get, as I say, fall into that trap. How will I report my company's benefit ownership information? And if you're required, and we'll go through what the requirements look like in a few minutes here. If you're required to report your company's financial ownership information to FinCEN, you'll do so electronically through the secure filing system via the FinCEN BOI website. It sounds like a lot. There's the website. Again, you'll have a copy of this presentation. And to go in and do this, I'm going to give you kind of 3 examples, 3 different people filling out that same application. And I think by the time we're done, you'll have a pretty good idea what you're going to need to do. And again, please don't hesitate to see. We have a great group of advisors and contractors here that work with us. So don't hesitate to reach out at any time. And I will be doing this, as I said, a little bit later in the samples, a little bit later in this. So who can file the BOI report on behalf of the reporting company, and what information will be collected on filers? So anyone whom the reporting company authorizes to act on its behalf, such as an employee, an owner, a third-party service. And I think Hector Garcia in the last video will talk about, you can go to have a company do the filing for you, but they're going to charge you. So, if you don't want to spend the money, I highly recommend, again, if I can do this, I really think anybody can file. It is the process is really pretty easy, especially if you are going in ready to go to get it done. But just know that there are third-party service providers that will fill this out. And so anybody, they can file the report on behalf of the company. And then when submitting the BOI report, individual filers should be prepared to provide basic contact information about themselves, including their name and email address and phone number. So that's something that has to be done. So what is a reporting company? A reporting company, who are the people that have to report? There are 2 types. One is domestic reporting companies. These are corporations, LLCs, limited liability companies, and other created by filing a document with the Secretary of State, entities created by filing something with the Secretary of State or a similar office in the United States. So it could be our lieutenant governors, whatever the process is, who is ever doing this, the Secretary of State or the territory, wherever you're filing this. So a domestic company may be required to file, especially corporations, LLCs, and they go into some areas that they say other. So foreign reporting companies are entities, including corporations and limited liabilities companies that are formed under the law of a foreign country that have registered to do business in the United States by filing a document with a Secretary of State or similar office. So there's the breakdown there. There are 23 exemptions. You'll hear, am I exempt? And I'm just going to share this list here for a second. And if you can't see something, let me know. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but these are just to the Transparency Act benefit to have exempt entities such as government authorities, banks, credit unions, money services. So you can see this whole list and you can pull it for yourself. Truly, the only reason they're not required to do this is they've already got systems in place for the government to monitor them now. So there was no point. It's like double dipping is what I like to call it, because they're already reporting and to make sure that they don't have anything that's hidden. So these are exempt. Those companies are exempt from doing that. Oops, sorry. Okay. I was worried about losing the page. So here's a little checklist, and you'll have this. Again, you're going to have this presentation, so feel free to look at it. And again, please, please, please feel free to give me a call, give some of our great advisors calls, and we'll be able to help walk you through it. And if there's something we don't know, let's say if something I don't know, we're sure going to find the answer for you. Okay, so under what law was the company created or formed? So in the US laws, including laws for the state and for states and Indian tribes, so the checklist, that I go, do I need to file? Is the company a corporation? If I go, yes, then you may have to do it. If I go, no, I'm not a corporation, is the company an LLC, a limited liability company? In my case, for my company, yes. So my answer to this was yes. So maybe a domestic reporting company. I am. So that's why I had to go out and fill out the BOI for my particular advising company. So was the company created by filing a document with the Secretary of State or any similar office under the law of the state or Indian tribe? If the answer is no, it's not a reporting company. But in most cases, if you're an S Corp or an LLC, most likely, again, my opinion, you're going to end up with a yes. So, and then they have the same thing, law of the foreign country. It's the same thing we were talking about. It could be a foreign company, but however, let's say if they registered with the U.S. state or tribal jurisdiction by filing documents with the Secretary of State or similar office, then the answer is you may be a foreign reporting company. And I love the way they do this. You notice how they put may in there. That's the best thing. It's like, oh, you may be in trouble with me. I'm not saying you are, but it may happen. So, all right. So is a sole proprietorship a reporting company? No, unless the sole proprietorship was created. And they have some other things in here in the United States by filing a document with a Secretary of State or similar office. So most of the time it's that no answer for a sole proprietorship. An entity is reporting a company only if it is created in the United States by filing such documents as we were talking about before. Filing a document with a government agency to obtain an IRS employer identification number, a fictitious name, or professional occupation license does not create a new entity. And therefore it does not make a sole proprietorship filing such as documenting a report. So there are, if anybody has a sole proprietorship, I would dig into it more. Make sure, did you go out and get let's say something with a documentation you filed with the government that would bring you over that threshold. If you have questions, I think that's still an area that's a little bit gray for everybody, because it's sole prop though is really simple. It's the simplest format. And so we're really looking at this point at corporation, S corps and LLCs. If you're a sole prop, do you need to file? Most likely not, but do a little bit further digging into that. Okay. And I'm just checking here. Sorry for looking. I have 3 screens here, so nothing in the chat so far. All right. Can a company created or registered in the U.S. territory be considered a reporting company? Yes, that is. We here, down here, you go through with the 50 states and District of Columbia, and then down here, it's very clear. U.S. territories are the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, the Commonwealth of the North Mariana Islands, American Samoa, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We are all under the same reporting structure. So even though we're not in the, it's not in the state, they have been very clear in the law that yes, all of us here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and all the other the territories must report. So that kind of took, because that was one of the first questions I had. Well, we're down here in the Virgin Islands. Do we have to? Yes, they got us all covered here. So do the BOI reporting requirements apply to S corporations? Yes. Okay, and anybody that has an S corporation, it's treated, even though it's treated as a pass-through company, basically under subchapter 5 of the Internal Revenue Code, that qualifies as a reporting company. So just know and they do go on, it's created or registered to do with business by filing of documents with the Secretary of State. So it's just a repeat of what we've been saying before. You have to, if you're an S Corp, you do have to report. In particular, bypass through treatment under subchapter chapter 5 does not qualify an S Corp as a tax exempt entity under the BOI reporting regulations. So I don't know many, I've had a couple of discussions with people that have S Corps, but most of the people for the territory seem to have LLCs. There are S Corps out there, and the reporting is pretty easy, as I said. Now, as we're going through this, there may be a few things that you're having questions on. What I've done is in the presentation, I know we have an hour and a half. Sometimes with the questions, it may go that length. We'll go until we get through all the information, but please, again, ask any questions. But the 3 videos, I really think some are a little bit repetitious. The one from the government, I think, is least informational as far as how to do it. But it's giving you that idea behind it. Okay, so here we go into kind of the nuts and bolts of this. So before you start doing your application, make sure that you have all this information on hand. These are the things that you're going to need. Your employee identification number. Some people have the Social Security number, the company's legal name or DBA. Mine is Armstrong Consultants of, Armstrong Consultants, LLC. That's my company back in Iowa that I've held on to, mainly because I just like to hang on to companies longer than I should sometimes. But that's the legal name, and that is the name that is on my state business license. So make sure that you look at your business license. You want to make sure it does match everything that you have with the state or the territory, and you want to make sure that it matches what you're putting into the system. That's very important. Back during COVID, there were people, we had idle loans and all kinds of different things, and people were getting frustrated because they would put down the name of their company and it didn't match what was in the federal record. So just make it easy for yourself. If you have a company name on a document, make sure you put it down exactly that way. The country of incorporation, state of business formation. So in this case, it would be possibly the territory. If you, like for me, I had the other one, which is in Iowa. The LLC address, you wanted members and owners, the legal names that are on there, the member owners' date of birth, member owners' address, government issued ID. And a hint, if you're using a driver's license or you're using a passport or whatever is considered a government issued ID, make sure that you have copied it, saved it, scanned it, and have it in a file, because you're going to need to upload it a couple of times. As you will see, you have during this process, you have basically two things to do. One, you're going to be registering and filling out information about your company. And then you're going to be, it's almost a repeat. You're going to be filling out information about yourself. So just do yourself a favor. If you don't have the ID ready, you have to stop the process, scan it. So just have it ready to go. And then the BOI report submitter details. Now, again, that is if somebody is filling that out for you. It may be you. If you have somebody else, that's going to be important that you have that information. So one of the other presentations has, I think, in fact, I think it's the identical list. And I'm wondering if I saw their information and put it down. I do not like to plagiarize, but we will see what happens with that. It's almost the identical list. So come on. So the beneficial owner information report at FinCEN. So I just wanted to show you, this is www.fincen.gov/BOI, just to give you an idea of, before we go into this, what it looks like. Okay, this is what, if you go into the website, and we're going to show you again some demonstrations on, we're actually, a couple of the people are going to dig in and they're going to do some applications. So it's going to give you a really good feel of what you're going to have to do. But this is the official website. Now, the one thing that I would like to point out is they have a really robust help section on that website. So just keep that in mind when you open it up. Look at all the areas, and they really, let's say online filing methods, step-by-step instructions. I'm just going to open that for fun. I don't think I opened that one. They have well, did it open? No. Quick reference. Oh, there it is. It did. I have the quick reference guide. So if you have questions, it's a really good, I have to say, for a government website and a government application, my personal opinion is they did a pretty good job putting this together. So I was happy with that. All right, so the first video that we're going to be looking at is the one from the government itself. And just checking any questions so far. Anybody have anything? I don't see anything in the chat. If anybody wants to unmute and ask a question, please do. Okay, good. So the first video that I'm going to show, and this is put out, this is actually on that application page. This is their video. It gives you an overview. They didn't go into the details, which our other two YouTube presenters are going to do. And I respect both of them. And I have to say, the last person, Hector Garcia, I teach accounting classes at the college level. And I teach a QuickBooks course. And he is like expert in all these areas. So I a lot of times, because I'm doing an online class, will refer students to these to Hector Garcia. So here we go with the first one, and it will give you a good overview of what's happening. Okay.
Hello, I am with the U.S. Treasury Department Bureau of the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN. You may have heard about this new anti-money laundering law, the Corporate Transparency Act, that requires many companies doing business in the United States to report information to the U.S. government about the real people who own or control them. Today, I'm going to show you how to file the beneficial ownership information report. I'm going to start with the website, finson.gov/BOI. On the website, I can see some information that will help me determine if I need to file and what types of information I would need to provide. Let's say I'm the owner of a small business, ABC, that I recently formed with my Secretary of State. I've reviewed the small business resources on FinCEN's website and determined that my company is not exempt from reporting, so I will click here and file a report. The beneficial ownership information report, and today I'm going to select the option to file online using the web form. In the future, I may need to update or correct the BOI that I compiled, so I can do that
Sorry.
here by selecting the different options. Since this is my first time filing, I'm going to select initial report and then click next. First, I'm going to enter the name of my company.
I saw a note are people having a hard time hearing the presentation?
Jan is coming over a little muffled on my end.
Okay, let me see if I can, I'm going to attempt to see if I can get my apologies for this. I have that volume all the way up. And I'm going to stop the presentation just for a second. I'm going to stop sharing. I will be right back to, okay, let me see.
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to get this back online here. Okay, from slideshow from the current slide. Okay. My apologies. I probably shouldn't have stopped this. So from the current slide.
ABC Inc. I don't have any alternative or DBA names, so I'm going to skip this field and then enter my number here.
Sorry. Was that better sound?
Yes, that made a difference.
Okay, again, my apologies for stopping, but I appreciate when you were all letting me know that that didn't work right. Okay.
I formed this company here in the US, so I don't need to select anything here, but I will select the United States in field 10. I filed my paperwork in the state of Virginia, so I'll select Virginia and then enter the address, city, state, and zip. Next, I'll enter information about the company applicant. This is the person that actually filed my company information with the Secretary of State. The person that filed for my company is my tax accountant, so I'll be entering information here. I will enter last name, first name, date of birth, and business address. This form also requires the identification type, number, and where the document was issued from, and a picture of the ID. I'll need to provide an image of the ID, so I'm going to click on Choose Folder and select Image and select Open. No other person was involved in the filing. That was the document that created my company, so I don't need to add any more company applicants. At most, 2 people may be reported as company applicants, and only companies that were created or registered in 2024 or later need to report company applicants. Finally, I'll move to the beneficial owner information part. Since I own this company, I'm going to enter my last name, first name, date of birth, and address. Similar to before, enter the identifying document number and upload an image. Because I'm the only beneficial owner, that's all I have to do here. But if I had more beneficial owners, I would need to go up and click this button, add a beneficial owner. Now that I'm on the last page, I'll enter my email, my first and last name, because I'm submitting the report to Vincent. Now I'll click here to certify that I am filing this beneficial ownership information report on behalf of the reporting company and that the information I provided is true, correct, and complete. And then I will select the caption checkbox and prove that I am human. I'm ready to submit. It will take a few moments for the submission to go through, and now I see the confirmation page. It's important for me to download and save a copy for our records in case you need to refer to them again or if any problems or issues occur. And that completes the filing of the beneficial ownership information report.
All right, now I'm going to attempt to get back out of here. So give me a minute here, and I will. Again, one of the things that she just said while I'm working on this is to please make sure that you do get a copy and keep a copy. I know that when I did my EIN number, I didn't write it down properly, or I didn't store it properly, and I had to jump through hoops to try and get let's see, to get that document back. So forgive me, I am trying to close this out and not having, because I changed things, it's not been yeah. Okay, forgive me, I'm going to stop sharing again just for a second. And it's not letting me out of this screen. And anybody have any other questions? Well, I'm hopefully going to get this one set. Sorry about the tech issue, everybody. It's like, let's see, for whatever reason, it's not letting me out of this screen. So I'm trying to work through that as we go. I will have the next slide here, or the next movie, in a second. My apologies. I'm going to just. Okay. Hate to do it this way, but this is the way I'm going to have to do it. I have a tech issue at my end. Again, apologies. Can I just, I have this. Can you all see this up here?
We're seeing your PowerPoint slide deck.
Okay, so step by step, I'm gonna have to run it this way. I have something that is stuck on the other screen and it's not gonna let me out, so.
I would encourage you to go into presentation mode from beginning so it appears bigger.
Wait, presents.
Okay, go into presentation mode from the beginning.
You were just there. The first button on your left.
This one, yeah.
Okay, now we see it.
I'm stuck here. That's the problem.
Uh-oh, okay.
I cannot, for whatever reason, this screen will not disappear. Now I've lost my presentation.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no problem. It's just, everybody, this is the world of tech. If something happens, we just get through it. Let me run this next one and you'll have a copy of it. Just please let me know if you can see it okay and you can hear it okay. I will try and expand it once we get going.
Upweight presents.
Sorry, commercials.
Prepared in front of you with the ingredients you love.
I wish there were a way that we could get around these.
Or create your own new pasta creations only at Subway.
Is anybody hungry?
You're probably watching this video because you need to file your BOI report. For those who don't know what that is, it stands for Beneficial Ownership Information. It's a newly required report that you need to file with FinCEN. Failure to file this form can subject you to some crazy penalties like $500 per day. It applies to LLCs, corporations, and some partnerships. Basically, if you registered your business with your state, you likely have a filing requirement. Do note this does not apply to sole proprietorship. In this video, I'll prepare it for a company of mine, hopefully in under 5 minutes. I'll share my screen so that you can follow along step by step. Just to be clear, this example is for a simple LLC formed before 2024 and registered in the United States. Any special circumstances like foreign owners or companies formed in 2024 or after, the process will be slightly different. Hey everyone, I'm Noel Lorenzana. I'm a CPA, and I think this BOI filing is a hassle and intrusive, but it's not going away anytime soon, at least I don't think. So it needs to get done or face major penalties. Before we begin, here's the information you need to have before you go on the FinCEN website to file your BOI report. Number one, you're going to need your company's legal name and any DBAs. Number two, your employer identification number or EIN. Number three, your country of incorporation. For most, that would generally be the United States. Number four, your state of LLC formation. You might have to look that up. Number five, your company or LLC address. Number six, members or owners' legal names. Number seven, members or owners' dates of birth. Number eight, members or owners' addresses. And number nine, your government-issued photo ID. And number 10, your BOI report submitter details. And that's the person actually filing the BOI report. Okay, so let's do this walkthrough demonstration. Okay, so you're going to navigate to the website fincen.gov/BOI, and it'll take you here to the website. Let's scroll down a little bit, and we are going to click on this here, file a report using the BOI e-filing system. You click on that. It takes you here. Welcome to the BOI e-filing system. You're going to click on this, file BOIR. You have an option to file via a PDF that you print out, fill out, and upload, or you could file it online, and that's what we're going to do here today.
Apparently, according to Google, Danny Postma earns 3.6 million or something.
Commercials. Okay.
Agree to the warning. Okay, here we go. I've never done this before, so I'm going to do this as quickly and as accurately as I can. Filing information, type of filing. This will be an initial report, so I'm going to click on the box A. Date prepared, that's auto-filled. Okay, there's a little Privacy Act and Paperwork Reduction Act notice. I'm going to click on Next. The reporting company, Part 1. So you can request to receive a FinCEN ID, and that would be helpful if you plan to file multiple FinCEN reports, but we're going to leave that alone. Okay, so reporting name. This is the reporting company's legal name. Alternate name or DBAs if applicable. form of identification, type of identification. I don't have an EIN for this, so I'm going to use the social security number. Okay, country jurisdiction, you only enter this if it's a foreign tax ID, which this is not. Jurisdiction of formation or first registration. What country? That will be the United States of America. State of formation, this entity was formed in Illinois. Current US address, I'm going to enter that. That's good. I'm going to click on next. Company applicant. Okay. Consent ID, I do not have one. So this is where I enter my information as the applicant. I enter my last name, first name, leave the middle name blank, suffix blank, and birth date. Business type, current address, which is business address. And I'm going to use the same address as the entity. Okay. Next, we have form of identification and issuing jurisdiction. So identifying document. I am going to upload my driver's license. I'm going to enter my driver's license number. Okay. Line 32, identifying document jurisdiction. United States, State of Illinois. And you have to upload your document. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this. I already have it saved.
Wade presents new pasta creations prepared in front of you with the ingredients you love.
Sorry, we had to do the commercials, everybody.
Try them all or create your own new pasta creations.
I think this is the last one.
So here, this is part 3. So I have to go back here. So this is part 3, beneficial owner information.
Yeah, this is what I was saying.
37 applies.
Yeah.
38, last name, individual's last name. Line 39, first name. Date of birth. Residential address. So this is a residential address, so I'm going to enter my home address here. form of identification, driver's license number, country, United States, state, Illinois. Identifying document image is required and we'll upload my driver's license again. So you have to do it once as the beneficial owner and two for the company applicant. And we'll click on next. Okay, so it takes us to this submit page. I've entered my email, confirmed my email, first name, last name, and I agree to the certification. I certify that I'm authorized to file this BOIR on behalf of the reporting company and further certify on behalf of the reporting company that the information contained in the BOIR is true, correct, and complete. I'm going to click on I agree. Okay, there's a compliance reminder. Click on this I am human box. Please click on the Meerkat tab. Okay, now I'm going to finalize this and click on Submit BOIR. Okay, submission processing. A tracking number, status, filing successful. You may download the transcript below. Okay, very good. The tracking ID, a timestamp. And important, before closing this page, we strongly recommend downloading your transcript below. I'm going to do that. And it's downloaded and saved. So hopefully this was under 5 minutes. I think it was. If you have a question that wasn't addressed in this video, you can go to the following website. I'll put.
So I just, again, you got to see how she put the information, how Noelle put the information in. It's, you kind of see it's really not very difficult to do. It's just, if you have everything ready and you just go through the process, it's pretty good. Again, remember that you have to first give the company information and then you as the owner. So you're going to have to do some of the things twice. I'm going to jump over again. I apologize for the tech problem. Afterwards, I'll try and figure out what happened, but I'm going to go over to Hector Garcia's step by step, and that'll take us to towards the end. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay. All right, so here we go. And it's going to have commercials too, I think. So.
In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to do your own BOI or beneficial ownership information reporting, which is a new federal regulation that started in 2024, where all entities, all businesses or LLCs need to send information about who the owners of companies are to the federal government. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into Google and type FinCEN, F-I-N-C-E-N, BOI reporting, and click on the fincen.gov site. Don't worry, I'm going to copy and paste that URL and put it on the description. So once you get to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network website, we're going to see BOI benefit information. We can click on learn more about reporting deadlines. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what it says here. Any company that was created prior to 2024, so any business that was created prior to 2024 will have until January 1st of 2025. So you have a whole year from 2024 to report that. If the company is new, if it was created during 2024, you will have 90 days from the moment you create the company to file. So in this video, we're going to be focusing more on the old companies prior to 2024. We're going to be doing the filing for that later on as I read new companies and help my my clients with new businesses to do the BOI reporting, I will do that. But keep in mind, it's 90 days from the moment you create the company. Now, there's no fees. The government doesn't charge you anything to do this, although some companies will actually charge you for that. If you actually click on some of the sponsored links, like for example, this LegalZoom one, they charge to do the reporting for you. So you can actually scroll down here and see they charge $49 to do the report for you, and $200 a year if you do both the BOI reporting and the state annual reports. But notice there are companies out there charging for this service. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do this on your own. So let's go into back into the FinCEN website and click on File Report using BOI e-filing. And then the website is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to click on Beneficial Ownership Information and click on Get Started or File BOIR. So it's the BOI report. Now you can download the PDF file and do it manually via PDF. I don't recommend it. It's kind of a hot mess. I prefer that you do it online, so I'm not even going to waste any time with that. But if you go into the help or the instructions, you can actually read very detailed instructions. They did a really great job with these PDFs. You have 21 pages on this PDF report that walks you through exactly what the reporting requirements are, who is required to file, what is a reporting entity, like all this information it's in here, and it explains to you line by line if you're doing it with the PDF format. Every single page here kind of walks you through what every single line in the report is. There's also quick reference guides here if you're going to be doing electronic filing, so not the PDF but the electronic version. And if you go through this, there's actual screenshots. The same thing we're covering here. Screenshots you can print, and you can go step by step and do the exact same thing that we're showing you in this video. Follow the instructions step by step. So the federal government really stepped it up on this one. It's kind of annoying that they make you do this report, but they actually walk you through what every form is going to look like. Okay. You can also search through them, look at the quick reference guides too. This is basically a 3-page report. It's actually a lot shorter, kind of walks you through that. So now I'm going to walk you through the small entity guides that they have here. Essentially, it's instructions in English, Spanish, a bunch of different languages. It's a pretty big PDF. When you zoom in here, it's 57 pages. Okay, so if you want to go into the glory of all the details, you can do that. First page states that this is effective January 1st of 2024. So this is only for basically 2024 and on. You can go to the table of contents. For example, we'll start with, is my company a reporting company? And the very first chapter says not all the companies are required to report a BOI. Companies are required to do a BOI are called reporting companies. And if they don't qualify for an exception, they have to file. So here's the next page. It basically says, is my company a reporting company? And if you read the specific document, it says a reporting company is an entity that meets the reporting company definition. It doesn't qualify for any exception. There's both domestic and foreign. So there's actually 2 types of reporting entities. So if your company is neither a domestic reporting company or foreign, you don't have to do a BOI report. Now, basically, this little graph shows you very easy to read. If the company does business or is formed in the US and it's a corporation, yes, it has to report is a domestic reporting company. It's not a corporation, but it's an LLC, then yes, it is one, unless it's one of those exceptions there, which is not filed through a Secretary of State. Okay. The other ones are the foreign companies, which is any foreign company that does business in the United States. Okay, so here's a little bit more information on that. And then it talks about the exceptions. So the exceptions are a specific type of company. There's 23 exceptions. So as you can see through the list here, we have an entity that's labeled one of these things. Securities reporting issuer, government authority, bank, credit union, all these things. So you want to go through them. Essentially, these are businesses that already are federally regulated and they're already registered with the federal government. Only tricky one here is accounting firm, because this one concerns me and a lot of my colleagues. And essentially, when you actually go and read the details of the exceptions, you can scroll down and you can see what every one of these exceptions mean once we scroll down. So let's go ahead and scroll down here and see every one of these exceptions. You can actually see securities issue reporter and ask you, and there's yes and no questions to let you know. So every one of those exceptions have a set of questions that clarify what this means. But public accounting firm basically means it's registered in accordance to section 102 Sarbanes-Oxley Act. So basically these are all the large firms that do auditing for large businesses. So for the most part, essentially small bookkeeping firms, small CPA firms, all are going to have to report. So you can read through all the exceptions there, and there's tons of other information in this document. So if you want to go in depth, you're welcome to do so. A couple other things worth mentioning here is the penalty. So this actually tells you if you don't file your form, you could get a fine up to 2 years in prison or $10,000. So I don't know how much they're going to enforce this, but essentially the federal government is wanting to or is requiring you to do that. Now, essentially, if any business owner that has 25% or more ownership interest, or what they call in substantial control, are essentially the people that you're going to report in this filing. So the purpose of this filing, long story short, is to enter the company information and enter every single owner that, again, either has substantial control or at least 25% ownership in the business. So the document itself discusses what substantial control means. If it doesn't qualify for the 25%, again, if you want to get into details of this, you can. If you hire an attorney or an accountant to help you discern all this thing, I guess you can do that. But honestly, it's pretty straightforward. You got 25%, you're probably going to have to file. So let's go ahead and start the filing process. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down to file online, and we're going to click on prepare and submit BOIR, and then click on I agree. So the first thing it's asking you is, hey, is this an initial report or an update to an old report? You put the date and you click on next. So for most of you, this is 2024, brand new. This is going to be initial report. So we're going to start with that. Read the information at the bottom and then click on next. Okay. So once we click on next, the next page basically says, what is the reporting company name? Now I'm going to switch over to SunBase, which is like where we register companies in Florida. I'm doing this for an actual real company. So we're going to paste in the company name where it says reporting company legal name. If there's a DBA or something, you would put that in there. And then we're going to put the EIN or the tax ID. Notice I'm literally just copy and pasting this from my registration in Florida. However, some states have this information public, some don't. So it depends really on what state you're in. And you're going to have to, let's remove the hyphen there. And you're going to have to get the legal name of the company, the EIN, and obviously the address. You're going to have to get all those things in there. So we're going to put here, this is a US-based company. And we're going to put what state this was, was the domestic address of the state, which is Florida-based. And then we're going to scroll down and essentially just put the physical address. Again, I'm going the shortcut way. I'm just copy and pasting this from the actual state register. All this stuff should match. And, if you have a different address, obviously put the real address in there, but it happens to be that everything on the Florida public register for this corporation is the actual one. So we're going to put that in there. So let's put here the state and the zip code. Perfect. And we click on next. The next sort of big question is this an existing company or a brand new company? So this is all existing companies created prior to 2024. I haven't done any brand new company. So we're actually going to click on existing companies. So this is all for companies created prior to 2024. So this is companies from 2023 and older. And then all we have to do is skip where it says company applicant information because this company was created prior to 2024. And then we're gonna skip to the next page, which is where we put the actual beneficial ownership information. Okay, so we'll click on next or click over to where it says beneficial owners. Click on that, and then we're gonna put each of the owners of this company. We can have more than one. Again, if you remember in the previous document, is anybody that has substantial control or 25% or more. So I'm gonna put my name, my date of birth. Obviously, this is not real, but post edit, I'm going to put the real information in here so I can actually find it correctly. We'll put there the actual address of basically the owner. So we'll put in the owner's address in here. Again, you want to put the real owner's address in here. That's your job, to disclose this information. That's what the federal government wants to know. They want to know who's got substantial control over every entity in the United States. We're going to upload your either put your driver's license number or your passport number, and you're going to also upload that document. You're going to scan that document and upload it. Put here which is the sort of the issuing state of that document that you're going to upload, and then you basically click and drag or click or choose from folder, and you're going to send your driver's license or your passport, whatever identifying information you have. And then we're going to click on next. So after we finish this page, essentially this is all we have. Assuming this is only one owner, you would put that, but if you have more owners, you're going to go to add beneficial owner. Again, in some cases you can have up to 4 because it's 25% or more or that concept of substantial control. So you're going to add this for every single owner that has substantial control or 25% or more. You can remove it if there's only one owner for this business. Then you're going to put your email address. Okay, you're going to confirm your email address in there. Okay, you can copy and paste. Yes, I can. Then put your name, and you're essentially doing an electronic signature in here. You got to confirm that you're human. So I got to find the rabbit's eye, I guess, in here. That's pretty interesting. And we click on verify, and then we click on submit the beneficial ownership information report. And then as soon as you click submit, pretty fast, again, it's all being done electronically, you should get a confirmation number. It takes, again, about a minute. You can copy that tracking information or literally just print this page. Now you can, again, copy and paste that information somewhere. You can download the transcript. I would recommend this because this is kind of like your proof. This is like a copy of the tax return per se of the reporting of what you reported. And pretty simple. It just contains a transcript of everything you sent. Obviously, if you make a mistake, go back and do an update, or print this page as a PDF. Copy and paste that somewhere, or print it as a PDF. Okay, you really can't do much on this page other than that. And that's it. That's how you do your benefit ownership information in the FinCEN website. So you don't need to pay a professional. Okay, this is pretty simple. You can do this on your own. Hopefully, this walkthrough it's good enough for you. Again, if you want to hire an accounting team or an attorney team, feel free to contact some. I own an accounting firm and I have a whole team that does this stuff, tax returns, bookkeeping, all that stuff. So I'll put my information in the description if you want to contact a professional accountant. All right, thank you. See you in the next one.
Wow, I keep getting caught with these. Anyway, so it's really good question. One of the questions that came up in the chat, and thank you for that question, is how did we get the word out? For me, for my company, I stumbled on this by mistake in June, and I work with the SBDC, and a lot of us didn't see this coming. And, so getting the word out was not good by Treasury. That's my opinion. I could have missed something, but overall, as a business owner myself and my company in Iowa, I was going, I don't know about this. So that's why we started putting this together. It probably was in May. So, yeah, any way that anybody, that we can get the word out, please spread the word. We will come out and do presentations. Hopefully, I will do one with when that the tech issues don't hit us. So, do we have questions? Any thoughts, any questions so far? It's been a pretty quiet group. Okay. With that, and I think thank you, Sharika, and our team that was here. It's good to have all of our, I think almost everybody from our team was on the call today. So I was happy to see that. And those outside that were here, thank you. I really appreciate you learning about this. Please do not hesitate at any time to contact us. Ask questions if you want to. We'll be sending out information right away. So anything that you need, please let us know. Again, just checking any information anything else that you need as I'm sitting here. And I have to tell you, being of the older generation, I think I did pretty well with the tech issue, not panicking. It's like, okay, we'll find a solution. As you saw from this, it's easy to do, get it done, keep the records. That's one of the most important things, as I started to say, and that's when we had that first problem with tech. I had gotten my EIN number and it said, keep a copy, keep the information safe. Well, I didn't. And I had to jump through hoops to get my EIN number. As a matter of fact, my accountant still uses my social security number for that company. So with this, you want to make sure you have a record that you have done it. Okay, anything else that anybody needs? Again, I appreciate it. Help us get the word out. Let us know. I will, if anybody has a group or organization, or I'm more than happy to go out and speak to the group individually and do a presentation there. And our crew is really good at these things too. All right.
John, it's a question. Will the businesses that are required to do this get notified, or is it our job to figure it out?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Will the businesses that are required to do this get notified, or is it our job to figure this out?
I still didn't hear that last part. Something about 5?
Will the businesses that are required to do this get notified, or is it our job to figure it out?
No, as a matter of fact, I don't see, that's why we're doing these webinars, and hopefully I'm going to get some PSA announcements out. I don't see any notification coming. I have not seen it. I will be asking that question where we have a big America's SBDC meeting in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to be asking that to all my colleagues, the state directors. It's like, have you, what did you all hear? How did you get this information out? Because from my standpoint, I didn't hear about it, and I could have missed something. But so it's, and Roxanne, your question again is, as far as getting notified, it's like you are kind of notified now, just get it done. And if you can talk to any of your other colleagues, just have them call us. Again, it's one of those communication things. If there's something out there, I didn't see it. And I think, and most of the colleagues that I work with are pretty much saying the same thing. So I was shocked when I saw it. And there had been a discussion. I think part of the delay and part of the discussion was back at the end of 2023, there was a discussion out that there was this reporting that it had been put on hold. And that's the last any of us heard of it, and really I didn't dig into it anymore. And then probably about I was saying, I'm getting closer to May and June. I'm hearing that it's out there. And so now that, now that it's out there, it's like, yeah, I think it's up to all of us to get that out. Ms. Williams, you have a comment.
Yes, the Lieutenant Governor's Office has a notice on their page, Division of Corporations and Trademarks, and everybody that had to file an annual report, meaning all of the LLCs and corporations, should have seen it on that page.
Perfect. Thank you. And, as I was saying to those on the call, we have a crew that is so good here. So thank you, Ms. Williams, for that information. So there was a notice put up. I didn't, and since I'm not going to that site, I didn't see it, but there is one out there. Any other thoughts, questions? I'm gonna, Sharika, would you talk about the availability of this recording?
Yes, so after the live session, this webinar will be converted into the on-demand format and persons can sign up and watch at their leisure. They can also email us and they will get a copy of the presentation.
Let's see. Yeah, and please, if they have any questions, and sure, thank you for the questions and the comments. Yeah, please just refer them. We'll answer questions. If we don't know, we'll sure find out. And as we just saw, we had one of our wonderful staff, Ms. Williams, come in and say, yeah, it's in this other place. So we always tend to find the answer. And I really thank you for these questions. Any others? Okay, with that, I'm going to say thank you from my end. Thank you for putting up with my tech issue. I can't wait till this is over so I can dig in and find out what happened, so I can avoid that the next round. Ms. Sharika, do you have anything that you would like to close with?
Sure. So the VI SBDC has so much more in store for USVI small businesses. You can visit our website at www.visbdc.org. Download the VI SBDC app on your mobile device from the appropriate app store. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Business, and you can subscribe to the VI SBDC YouTube channel for new uploads of our on-demand webinars. And our webinar training forecast we have coming up tomorrow, the USPTO, they're presenting on trademark basics. On the 22nd, we have the American Red Cross. They're going to be presenting the business approach to when a disaster strikes in the USVI. On the 28th, we have the USPTO back again, and they're going to be presenting on maintaining your federal trademark registration. On August 29th, we have Safety in Paradise, and they're going to be presenting safety and health practices for USVI businesses. So we encourage you to go ahead and sign up for those events if you're interested. Like our State Director said, on behalf of the entire VI SBDC network, we thank you for your time and for being in attendance with us today. Do enjoy the rest of your day.